Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a review over quite possibly my new all-time favorite self-tanner. Now quickly, before I get into what the brand is and what the self-tanner is, I do want to do a disclaimer and say this video is in no way sponsored by this brand. This was something that I purchased entirely with my own money. It wasn't sent to me for review. It's not sponsored basically. And I want to say that because this is a brand that in the self-tanning world, I feel like is heavily talked about. It's heavily reviewed, it's heavily sponsored, with good reason. I think it's by far the best self-tanner in the world. But I do want to say that disclaimer to say that this video and my opinion of it is completely 100% my own. In no way am I getting anything out of this. I just wanted to make this video to say that I found something that I think is phenomenal and works, especially since I have been doing kind of self-tanning reviews and comparisons for you guys, and I wanted to say I found something that works. So that brand I am talking about is Loving Tan. Now, I know what you're thinking. This probably is the most talked about brand in the self-tanning world, and I understand why. But first, before I get into my thoughts and opinions, let me give you a backstory. So last time I kind of did a review for a self-tanner, I compared this Saint Tropez to the fake bake tanner, and out of the two of them, I said the Saint Tropez one, I really liked it. I thought it was natural, it worked well, but I wasn't completely in love with the Saint Tropez. I liked it compared to the fake bake, and it worked, but I wasn't 100% sold on it. I went through and I finished that bottle, I bought another bottle, and I wasn't happy with it. I felt like I was having to reapply 2 or 3 times a week. It was a hassle, it was a pain, it was getting on my sheets, it smelt like relish and pickles, which was kind of gross. While I liked being tan, I didn't like all that effort having to put into it. So I stopped using it, and I quit self-tanning, and so I was fair for a while. So then something, especially as it started getting hotter, was it did rain in Texas for like all of May. So it was okay that I wasn't self-tanning because it was literally raining. Everybody was wearing rain gear all the time. Nobody was going to see it anyways. But then the sun came back and joined us in this lovely month of June. And I missed wearing shorts because I don't like wearing shorts when I'm pasty white legs. Honestly, that's just not my favorite. I don't mind it in the fall, winter because I think everybody else is pasty. But for spring, summer, that's not my favorite. So I decided to go out on a limb and try this. Number one reason why I tried it was because they do have a shipping store in the US. So shipping wasn't going to be super mega expensive. I think shipping is like $5.99 to $6.99. I did get shipping free because I bought a couple of their accessories. I will say this, I did have a code and I got their mitt for free, but I did pay for their back applicator thing. So in total, it was over $50. I got free shipping. So went ahead and bought it. It came, I think, in about a week. I don't think it took very long for it to get shipped to me, which was nice. So in about a week, I had it, got it that night, applied it. Now, I'm going to talk first about the actual self-tanner itself before I go into the accessories part of it. So I applied the self-tanner. First things first, it had no smell to it. And I was like, like, it did not smell bad. It didn't smell like anything, honestly. I know that Josie Moran came out with one and it smells like apricots and stuff like that. And I know like so many self-tannings, it has kind of that weird tanning smell. This has no smell to it whatsoever. And I was like, yes, yes. And then secondly, as far as the color application, honestly, it's dark in my room when it's like nighttime. I applied it before I went to bed. So as far as seeing like what the color garden looked like, that wasn't a huge big deal to me. It went on nicely. I thought it was a nice kind of a deeper color. So, but you know, nothing's ever gonna know until you wake up. I'll say this first, I forgot to mention this. I did get this in the shade medium. The reason why I got it in medium was because I thought, if this doesn't work, I can scrub medium and it can kind of blend in and look better than if I were to do dark or ultra dark. I thought those might be too dark on me. So I always say, if you're trying it for the first time, you don't know how it's going to look like, go with the lightest shade in the collection. So I went ahead and I got medium. So I applied that, went to bed, woke up. I was so dark. And the thing that was so shocking to me was how natural it looked. It didn't look orangey base, it wasn't red base, it was brown. Like, it looked like a natural tan. And that's what it says, it's a natural olive color. And normally people with that kind of olive undertone, they're a little bit more yellowy. They have more of that brown in their skin. And that's what it looked like. It looked brown. It didn't look orange. It didn't look green. It looked brown. And I was like, tickle me impressed, because I like this. I wore it for about a week. Now this is about my third week using it. I wore it about for a week. I was like, okay, I'm going to see how long it wears before I, talk about it, advertise it, whatever. I did not have to reapply it for like a week before I started noticing it getting patchy. Now granted, in certain areas, especially kind of under the clothes, just because it gets so stinking sweaty and hot and humid in Texas, I did kind of sweat some of it off, but it wasn't so noticeable that I was like, I need to reapply, I'm patchy looking everywhere. Like, it still looked faded kind of naturally, and it looked okay. So it was about a week before I reapplied it again. And I have to say, I am a loving tan believer. I don't think I want to use anything else. It dried super quick on my skin. I wasn't having to stand around for hours feeling sticky. I will say this, because some people say it didn't transfer. It did transfer on my sheets, and it was probably about an hour before I actually got into bed after applying it. I noticed a transfer. Some people swear they haven't. Some people say they have. I noticed a transfer on my sheets. Not a big deal to me, because to me it comes out really easily when you wash your sheets. I'm not super picky. I didn't notice a huge transfer in my clothes. I did notice sometimes like in the inside of my white shorts a little bit, but it wasn't enough that it like dyed my shorts this dramatic color, made them super dark or anything. It was just a little bit noticeable, but I also know that all is going to come off into the wash. So I wasn't super concerned about this. But it did dry quick, no smell, loved the color. I am completely sold on this. I do, the next time I purchase it, want to get the dark, just because to me, I like the medium so much, I want to see the darker shade. But I'm completely 100% in love with this. Now, the accessories. Not so hot about. Now, I said earlier, I did get a code that gave me that mitt for free. I think the mitt is originally like $20. This, I think, it's about $35, $36, no more than $40, which isn't bad in comparison. That's about as much as the Saint Tropez is for this size. This, I think, is like $20, $25. So I got it for free, and I hate it. I hate this mitt. It's made out of like a velour material versus, I know like the Saint Tropez, I don't have mine around with me. I used this the first night when I applied it, and then I ended up going and using my Saint Tropez mitts for all the other times I've been applying it. And this, I felt like I had to blend forever to get anything to stick. Like, I felt like it was just absorbing the product and it wasn't sticking it on my skin. I like the fact that it's black, so you can't see kind of the messy, dirty nastiness that it leaves on. But I felt like I was spending so long blending that it took longer than it should have for doing the application. I felt like I spent like 20 minutes just trying to get my legs done. And normally using the Saint Tropez, it takes me like 20 minutes to do all over my body. So didn't like that. Not crazy about the mitt. Honestly, I'd say skip it. Stick with the Vita Liberata. Stick with the Saint Tropez. Those are only like $6, $6.50 versus $20. Like, it's a no-brainer. Then the back applicator. I got this just because I don't really have a situation where I can just be like, hey, somebody, put self-tanner on my back. Find someone like that and skip getting this. When I ordered it, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger. I was expecting, I guess, like this, but a little bit thicker on a stick. Like, I was expecting something big and flat, maybe a little bit thick, but big and flat. This is tiny, tiny, tiny. And at first, I couldn't figure out how to use it. I didn't realize it snapped into place. I was like, this thing is stupid. I get what they were trying to do was make it travel size friendly, but it's so small and you can't reach anything evenly. Like, on my back, it did go on. The first time, I think because I spent a little bit more time doing it, it did go on evenly versus the other times I do it, I think I've just been like, whatever, and it hasn't gone on as even application, but it takes forever. It took me probably 20 minutes alone the first time to get it to look good on my back. I don't got 20 minutes trying to do my back. So I would say skip this. Find someone that you can just be like, hey, do you mind self-tanning my back? Like, whether it be a friend or whoever, get a towel and just rub it. Like, I feel like that would be more efficient than using this. And I think this was about $30. So not worth it to me. Not worth it to me. But I would say with this brand, skip the accessories, go to this product, because I mean, it's no wonder it is so heavily talked about and advertised and made reviews of and all that stuff. Like, it is phenomenal. I am definitely going to be repurchasing more of these probably for the rest of my life unless something better ever comes out. I do absolutely love it, and I can't wait to try the darker shades. I know there's a 2-hour express one. This one is the deluxe one, so it's the one that you leave on for 7 to 8 hours before rinsing. So I just put it on before I go to bed. There is a 2-hour deluxe one which has the same properties. It just works faster for those of you who don't like to wait. And I think they have an instant one if you're just looking for something to wear one time and want to wash off. I think get it, buy it, love it, because it is amazing. I love it a lot, and I know I've said that a bunch of times, but I really am so impressed with this. Going into this, I was very skeptical because it is something that is so heavily talked about, and you're like, okay, what's the truth and what's just, you're saying this because you're getting paid to say it. So absolutely impressed with it. Love it. Buy it. Loving tan. I mean, the brand name suits it. Anyways, that concludes my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't, subscribe, give a thumbs up to see more videos. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've tried this, if you've tried any other self-tanning that you think I should try that may or not be better. I'm just so completely sold on it. Like, it'd have to be super phenomenal for me to not think something's better than this. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.